Hello, hello, everyone. It is America's Supermom. Thank you for joining me for this segment of Real News today. Real spelled REEL, right? Because it's about what's on people's highlight reels, right? We tweak and edit and just do all these different things behind the scenes in order to have that perfect look. Well, now I am here to tell you the real story about what things are going on. So, we were scheduled to have a guest today, Kimberly, and life happens. It's Monday, and we never know what may appear when it comes to obstacles and challenges as entrepreneurs and business owners. So we are moving on as scheduled, and we will connect with Kimberly at a later time. But since we have this time scheduled together, I'm going to first start out with telling you a little bit about me. So I have been named America's Supermom. Why did I get that title? People are wondering. America's Supermom. Okay. Yeah, I live in America, but the Supermom part comes from my husband and I having 15 children. Yeah, you heard me right, 15. So we are fortunate to where we just have 10 of those who still live at home right now, and 8 of them are doing this remote learning. So wherever you are in the world, if you're dealing with children, being at home and trying to maintain a business and work, just think of me, right? And not only do I have one or two or three, I have 8 of them doing e-learning, but we are managing. So that is really what's going on with me. A little bit about my story is I am a lifestyle designer. Oh, and Kimberly is here with us. We had communicated earlier, and I thought that we had a schedule conflict. So I'm so glad to have her join us. But before I bring her on, I want to just say that I struggle with a lot of problems that a lot of women deal with when it comes to depression, anxiety, people pleasing. That really was a lot of what was going on with me. I was raised an only child, and then to have such a large family and so much responsibility, that just really took a toll on me, right? So, struggled with this depression, was hospitalized 3 times, but I overcame it. And it was through self reflection, really asking myself those hard questions in order for me to get out of that victim mindset. So now, as a direct result of me taking that journey inward, I now have been able to overcome depression, maintain a life depression free. And now that's the basis of what I do on an everyday basis, helping women to empower themselves to transform their mindset and overcome their limiting beliefs. So that's a little bit about me. So we are going to be joined with Kimberly, who is going to tell us a little bit about her before we get into our interview. Hey, Kimberly.
Hi, how are you today, Lachelle?
I am well, very well. I Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah, you know what? I forgot that I changed my volume for my computer. So let me see if I can turn it up. Okay, say it again.
Is this better?
Perfect. Okay. So you were good. I just was doing some stuff over here and forgot what I had done. But we are so glad that you were able to join us. Okay. So tell everybody a little bit about you, who you are, where you're located, that type of thing.
Excellent. Well, my name's Kimberly Lechnick. I am located in the Chicagoland area. I am the mother of 2 beautiful boys, ages 15 and 9, married, and relationship coach. I have over 25 years of experience supporting children and families in a variety of different capacities. I started my journey in the childcare industry, worked my way up only to run several childcare facilities as well as preschools, both private and co-op based preschools. And then I spent a lot of time, like everyone that's probably listening, a lot of time raising my 2 boys. But I came to a place where I felt like I needed that next step. For me, very grounded in my religious beliefs. Um, Knew that God had put a purpose on my heart. He's been chasing me for a really long time.
I feel you.
He's been chasing me for a really long time. And boy, if and for those of you who know me, or will get to know me, you'll know that I can run very fast.
I love it. I need to learn how to run fast, okay? I
I
can get
know.
some of these quarantine pounds off, right? If I'm running.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, so I can run really fast, and I forgot where I was going with that, Lachelle.
So you were just saying about how, the Lord was talking to you and
Oh, thank
he
you.
was chasing you and you were running. Right.
Yeah, and I still run every so often, but he led me to this relationship coaching. So for me, when you're having a conversation with me, you're not just getting someone who took some training and got certified. You're getting not only my 25 years of experience supporting children and families and in this variety of different capacities, but you're also getting a mom who has had those challenges as well. Not only taking what I've learned in my journey and applying it to my own family, but also learning along the way, because we can't escape it. No matter how many books we read, no matter how many experiences we have, we don't necessarily always have the right answers. So that's a little bit about me.
I love it. And so this is such a great topic because a lot of people have been sheltered in place. Now things are open in different places. We're traveling now, but we really were challenged during this time with our relationships, be it a spouse, children, just pivoting and reinventing ourselves with the business industry, with our coworkers or things like that. So, what tips would you give people right now about, harmonious relationships right now? What are some things that we should be focused on?
Well, I think first and foremost, we need to prioritize ourselves. How many times, especially moms out there, if you're listening, how many times do we not give ourselves permission to prioritize ourselves? So, first and foremost, I would have to say, fill yourself up. Fill yourself up first. Put that oxygen mask on yourself first. Because when you don't do that, Lachelle, are you still with me? I think we're frozen. So I'll just keep talking. When you don't put that oxygen mask on yourself first, you don't have anything to give. So I'd say that's my first one. Second, I'd say practice daily gratitude. Practice daily gratitude. It is so key and so important in our journey. And it Hi, you know what? Why don't we wait just a moment for Lachelle to kind of come back to us? Oh, here she is.
Gotta love it, guys. That is one of the benefits of having a house full of 8 people on
Yeah.
an internet connection at
You
one
know what?
time.
It's in our
So
house.
thank you for holding it down.
I love
See,
it.
you never know with me. I'm glad that we know each other, so you know about the chaos that can happen. And you're able to hold it down. Look at you. I think you should be a news anchor. Maybe that's a hidden talent.
Oh my gosh. So,
So I don't know how far you got, but the question was, some tips on having harmonious relationships.
well, I think I started saying that I think it's really important. to look at self first, right? So I was just talking to everyone about the importance of prioritizing ourselves.
Mm,
Shh, I didn't say
I love
it. I didn't
it's
say
so
it, but
true.
it's so important, it's so key, and it's so necessary. So this isn't just necessarily about the buzzword self-care, right? Because many of us use it, and myself included, but
Mhm.
many of us use it. But it's, what do we need to do to take care of our soul?
Mm,
What do we need to do to take care of our soul, our inner soul? What do we
mhm,
need? I'm still learning about that. I continue to learn about it as my kids get older, as I grow
mhm.
older. But what is it that you absolutely need to do to take care of your soul? Because if you are not taking care of your soul, you are not taking care of you. You are not taking care of you. And I want to put in that really quickly too, the importance of taking care of your soul. Now I just lost my train of thought. So it happens to all of us.
I know. That's that mom brain, girl. You're doing good. You held it down, and now you're like, now here she is asking me a million questions. No, but I really like that about taking care of your soul because, a lot of times this is the basis for a lot of conflict because you're not taking care of your soul. So when you have a conflict or sometimes even a conversation, it's coming from that lack or, frustration. And someone could say something and it may not even be that big of a deal, but it turns into a mountain because of the lens that you're looking through, because you haven't done that work.
Right. And it's so important, and to know and give yourself some grace and compassion when you are taking care of your soul, because there's going to be times that you do not know what the right answers are. And you need to extend yourself a little grace, a little compassion, and let yourself know, tell yourself that it's okay. It's absolutely okay that I don't have this answer right now. But if I'm just quiet and I just listen and I just become the observer. Lachelle, you know that I'm so passionate about meditation.
Mhm, mhm.
And that,
It's so good. One of the things I would say too is, letting everybody know something they can do to meditate. But before you do that, many people say, well, I'm not good at this meditation. It's not working for me. But we meditate on negativity all day long. How many times do you go over and over a story that you heard on the news or, the thoughts about this isn't going to work out for me or whatever? That's negative meditation,
oh,
right? And you're bringing more of that to existence the more you talk about it or think about it.
absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? I've actually had this new thing that I'm doing where if somebody comes to me and they start talking about something in the media, for instance,
Mhm.
I just say, I'm sorry. Like I really don't want that in my space. Now, if they come to me and tell me a story, that someone they know, a child they know are doing good works, or this, that, or the other thing, then I allow that into my soul. But there was a time that I would just welcome that. I would
Mhm.
just welcome that. It was the same thing yesterday. I very rarely watch TV, but I wanted to watch something on TV. And so instead of watching, like I was watching this program, and it was like something about it was just like permeating me. Like it just didn't feel right. Like it was negative. Like my
Mm.
body was receiving it, you
Mhm.
know. I don't know about you, Lachelle, but I consider myself an empath. And when you're an empath, you kind of tend to be a magnet for all the different energy. And I
Mm.
encourage you, your viewers, to listen and watch. And as you're traveling through your journey and you feel, pay attention to the energy. Pay attention.
Mhm.
Is your body trying to tell you something? And we can
Mhm.
even take it a step further. If you're having a conversation with someone, a very
Mhm.
difficult conversation, listen to your body. What is your body saying? If you start to experience pain in your body, that's your body's way of telling you. Hi, Lauren.
Lauren.
It's your body's way of telling you that this conversation is something that you should not be participating in, that you
Mhm.
need to take a step back, that it is okay for you to tell this other person, I cannot do this right now. I need to take a step back. This
Mhm.
doesn't feel right to me. Maybe we can pick it up another time. And then when you disconnect from that conversation, maybe you find that you don't want to have it. Maybe
Mm.
you want to write this information down. So
Mhm.
we could go on about this idea of taking care of our soul for sure.
I love that. Now, so, I think a lot of people don't really have that space to do that. I know for me, it wasn't even on my radar. So for 13 years, it was like I was in robotic mode, checking things off of my to-do list, not really engaged, just, so busy being achievement oriented. So it's like by any means necessary, not really even gauging, how am I feeling? Did I get enough sleep? Certain things like this. So for people who are on that hamster wheel, so to speak, what advice would you give them to kind of start becoming more conscious of your
Mhm.
feelings? So just like you said, if it doesn't feel right, a lot of us are just like, if we get a feeling, we're going for a beverage or some food to eat and all these different things that we're not really being conscious of maybe our emotional or soul needs. So what should we start out doing?
I think that is really great. I don't know if you or your listeners are familiar with the deprivation tanks. Have you ever heard of those?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Okay, well, not all of us have access to that kind of thing, but we
Hmm.
can absolutely create our own deprivation tank at home. What can we do? We can go into our bedrooms, we can go into our office, we can close the door,
Hmm.
we can sit in darkness, and we can just be. So for those of us that, and I've experienced it too, Lachelle, so I can absolutely identify, for those of us who our minds are going like this, like
Hmm.
like a rat on a wheel, and we
Hmm.
can't seem to stop it, or we're checking things off because we just want to get everything done, to remove yourself from the moment.
Hmm.
So I'm saying that in this case to deprive yourself, no sound,
Hmm.
nothing, but being in this dark space
Hmm.
and allowing your body to regenerate. If we think
Hmm.
of ourselves as a machine,
Hmm.
right, we
Hmm.
need to regenerate ourselves. So
Hmm.
sometimes if you're in that state where your mind is racing, right,
Hmm.
taking yourself out of the moment and just saying, hey, doing some nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, and having even 5 to 10 to 15 minutes of alone time and saying, hey, I need to regroup.
Hmm.
I love myself. I deserve this time for myself.
Hmm.
This is about nourishing my soul. I, it's so important. So that's one idea
That's great.
in that extreme sense when we are just caught up in that rat wheel, and then of course, if it's not to that level, you can absolutely put some meditation music on
Mhm.
and get back in your zen and just again take those deep breaths, say some really positive affirmations to yourself, and I encourage you to create affirmations that are just for you, for
Mhm.
tailor made for you and what you are challenged with at that moment, and those will come to you from your gratitude journal or
Mhm.
anything that you're writing down to track your thoughts with.
I love that. That's good. And so we'll leave it at that because we give people too many ideas and they don't do anything, you know? You give them one or two and you might have a chance, right? I mean, I'm talking to myself, right? It's like, oh yeah, that sounds good. And don't do anything, right? But so talk to us about working with our children. So you and I, we've been offline several times, and I know I don't know everything about raising kids, even though I have a lot. People are like, "Oh, you're the expert." Well, I'm always in the job training with that. You know what I mean? Always under construction. But, you have those moments when the kids are, expressing their beliefs and just finding out who they are. But it's kind of contrasting with, your system of things that you have set up. So, just giving everybody a little background. I have two middle school boys that,
Mhm.
they're just like, whatever, we're trying to get everybody on the same page, starting school, doing it, being excited, being very self motivated to get their work done. And they're just like, whatever, So trying to manage that, So, what are some tips? Because I know I'm probably not alone of
No.
moms, dads who have those kids that, one, we understand it is remote learning. So, it's not a traditional landscape or environment for what our kids may be used to, but
Mhm.
some ideas on how we can navigate through that challenge during this time.
That's a great conversation. So if we take your example of the middle school kiddos,
Hmm.
before we even dive into that,
Hmm.
if you are not already eating some type of meal together, this is a great solution. This is an absolutely great solution to start out, is by gathering and connecting around the dinner table. So why would it be a great way to connect? It's a great way to connect because it's an opportunity for everyone to share their thoughts. It's an opportunity for everyone to share their thoughts about what is going on in their life.
Hmm.
So, you sit down, and then when everyone's together sharing their thoughts, and even like in your situation, Lachelle, I would even recommend, like, if the dinner table doesn't work, even doing like a game night, and then before the game night, having a baton and passing the baton to each person when it was their time to speak, you
Hmm.
know, and then, who can argue with that? Like, okay,
Hmm.
it's Johnny's turn to speak right now. Do you have
Hmm.
the baton?
Hmm.
It's not like you're going and you're kind of refereeing, if you will,
Right.
trying to navigate telling this one to, and not getting what you want to get accomplished.
Hmm.
So going back to the dinner table, everybody is eating, they're nourishing their bodies. And then at the same time, oh, this happened, right? So at the beginning, it might be kind of contrived, right? Because you're just
Hmm.
kind of trying to find out how that works for you and your family. But
Hmm.
as you move along, it becomes something natural.
Hmm.
And it's an opportunity for the kids to share what their viewpoints are.
Hmm. I
And,
love that.
mhm.
That's
And
good. So talk to us about, this is kind of like foreign territory for a lot of us because we've been on that cycle of, running in
yes.
from work and everybody's not eating at the same time, or you're having something in the car, dropping it off, or whatever the case may be. So for us to sit down as a family, that's something that may not be what we're used to. So, how do we start that process? What are some prompts for us in what we say? Because, it's going to be new to the kids and new to the parents.
I love that. I love that. And now with technology, everyone's talking about how technology is not very useful. Like,
Mhm.
ooh, technology. But really, honestly, group texting is great. And I want to
Mhm.
tell this quick story. My younger one was camping with his dad this weekend. And,
Mhm.
for me as a mom, I want to stay connected. I want to
Mhm.
stay connected. I want to know what he's doing. I'm usually with him all the time. So
Mhm.
we downloaded this app called Google Duo. Do
Oh,
you?
yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, it's kind of like the FaceTime for Androids and stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my
Okay.
God. I loved it. I loved
Mhm.
it. But I digress. So it's about using like a group chat function during the week. Maybe you want to
Mhm.
assign jobs, or create a job list and having the kids, especially since you have middle school and high schoolers,
Mhm.
creating a task list and having people sign up. And then in the group task or in the group chat, you can just send a group chat and say, you know what, it looks like our chart is not filled up and we're meeting on Sunday. We need
Mm.
everyone to take a role. This is so exciting. So creating a lot of excitement around it, creating a lot of excitement and getting excited about what to anticipate is to come. And
Mhm.
then that's kind of how you might organize it. So
Mhm.
using that technology in a positive way, gathering everyone together. And then if you're going to use it as a mealtime,
Mhm.
having everyone work together during mealtime,
That's
having
good.
having some kind of job, whether it's this one setting the table, that one is washing the dishes, cleaning the
Mhm.
dishes, filling the drink cups, doing
Mhm.
whatever, job. And so now what's happening here is you've got the investment.
Mhm.
Everybody is invested in some sort of way. Everybody is investment or invested because they helped create this day.
I love that because I think this is something that we've gotten away from.
Oh,
That's an older tradition, and everyone works as a team. And you feel so important. Like I always tell my kids when we have visitors come over,
no.
to include them in the process, let them, serve the table or whatever because it makes them feel a part of the team, so to
Oh,
speak. Yeah, and very comfortable and at home.
I love it. And so
Mhm.
again, talking about how this might be contrived at the beginning, but really honestly, as you get into it and develop the structure for what you want to happen, what you're going to find is they're going to share information. So like for instance, my kids will just come in and they'll share something with me
Mhm.
spontaneously. It doesn't even have to be at the mealtime.
Mhm.
It will be they just come in and say, I I'm really upset with you. You did this and this makes me mad.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad that you're bringing it to me.
Mhm.
I'm glad you're bringing it to me because we don't want to harbor it. We don't
Right.
want it to stay in there. So anyway, I know I'm getting away from it because you asked
No,
about
you're doing good. Yeah.
homeschooling. So
Mhm.
taking the structure back to
Mhm.
homeschooling,
Mhm.
you are by incorporating a game night or a family meal on a consistent basis and creating that tradition, you are creating a way for the kids to feel comfortable and safe to communicate with you.
Mm.
And it doesn't mean, just like we were talking about self-care, it doesn't mean that it's a done and all and done situation. What it
Right.
means is that you created a structure for the family to lean on. So when the kids need you and they need to know that you're there and you're available to be listened to,
Mhm.
they will come to you. They will absolutely come to you. And you may, at middle school, when you're starting this, that you may have to remind them of it, but they will come
Right.
to you. They will come to you. And you can say something when they're at the computer and they're not engaged, saying, you know what? It looks like you're having some trouble focusing. I have some time at 3 o'clock, and I really would like to have a conversation with you.
Mhm. I love that.
So it's getting them to think like, oh, wait a second, she's watching me.
Mhm.
She's really watching me. And so A, I better get on the stick.
Mhm.
And B, there's accountability with that conversation.
Mhm. I
So
love that. That's good. So that's a great insight for that. And so we have people who they've been with their spouses and they didn't sign up to be in business with each other, so to speak. Yeah, we have relationship, But it's like, you go your way, I go my way when it comes to working. And now we're together 24/7 for the most part. So, what tips would you give spouses during this time?
Oh boy. That's a good one. Well,
Just one. You know what I mean?
that really is good. That really is a good one. And I'd have to say that, something that I've been trying to practice lately has been this idea of dating,
Yeah.
right? And
Hmm.
staying connected over the fun stuff, not
Mm.
staying connected over all of the messy, because Lord knows it is messy.
Literally. Okay. Messy house, messy. Yeah, I feel you. Okay.
It's ugly. It's ugly, but there's those moments. So going
Yeah.
back to this idea of feeling grateful,
Hmm.
is there anything that you can feel grateful for around your spouse or around your partner? Is there anything that you can think of? And again, it's just like our gratitude in life in general, right? Sometimes we
Hmm.
have to peel back all the way to I have eyes to see, I have feet to walk on, because everything seems so overwhelming. It's
Yeah.
the same thing with our relationships with our spouse. Is there one tiny little granule of salt that you can lean into right now?
Mm-hmm.
Because you are so angry, because you are mad? Is there one tiny granule of salt? Can you sit
Hmm.
down and watch that wedding video
Mm.
and take yourself back to a time where you did like your spouse?
Hmm. I love it. We're getting real here. Okay. That's right. I mean, this is the stuff. Look, you're saying what people are thinking. So, I love it. This is true. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
there's times that you can't find anything. And I think that it's really important to be real authentic. And then
Hmm.
also even with the kids, going back to the kids and with the spouse, one
Hmm.
thing that I have used a lot and leaned into a lot is putting myself in timeout.
Mm.
I put myself in timeout when I know, like, and all of my favorite things, my music, my go-to jams, like
Hmm.
whatever I need in my timeout. I mean, it's not hours, it's minutes, but anything
Right.
that I need to lean into my timeout in hope that I can come out a better person when I come out of the room or come out of the outdoors. The outdoors is also a great tool to get outside and breathe that fresh air. And sometimes the air in our homes can become stagnant.
Hmm.
And it's important, if you believe in burning sage, burn some sage in your house.
Hmm.
you
I
know
love that.
yeah, burn some sage in your house, get that negativity out,
Hmm.
and find that little granule, that little mustard seed of hope that you can lean into. And that can be absolutely a turning point and a starting block for you to find commonality
Hmm.
in your relationship.
I love that. And I love the fact that you bring out the timeout because, this is the thing that causes us to have problems later on because we're, pushing that emotion down or trying
Mm.
to deny it or ignore it. And it just creates more problems later on. And to be able to feel that, but do something about it in a positive way or just giving yourself that time to isolate and go through that,
Mhm.
rather than it really causing problems later on down the road.
Yeah, and Lachelle, you know what? You bring up such a great point about pushing it down. So for you
Mhm.
and your viewers, if you are someone who has difficulty with conversations, because conversations, especially communication with your partners, can be so
Hold
challenging.
on one second. I'm sorry. What happened? Okay. Do you need your charger? Go plug it in. I thought it was in the fireplace room. Okay. Well, you can use Jordan's. Is this his? Okay, I'm sorry.
No,
Mom duty.
yes, exactly. We are liking that.
There you go. Okay. Okay. All right.
Yes,
So I'm sorry to interrupt, but go ahead.
no worries. So we were talking.
Oh, we were saying about pushing it down.
Oh yes. So
Yeah.
it's important, even though those conversations may be challenging and difficult to have. Again, going back to that the soul, loving our soul, right? Loving our soul.
Mm-hmm.
If you're loving your soul and you're filled up, having that conversation can be a little bit easier. Finding that mustard seed that you can lean on, having those date nights or date afternoons. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can be something as simple as going out in the backyard and sharing a drink. Going out in the backyard, and that can be your time. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have to be a 6-course meal at a 5-star restaurant. It doesn't even have to be anything like that, because it's about the moment. It's about the moment. But it's very important not to push it down. Our bodies, our vessels, our temples, and we want to treat them as such. We want to treat them like the temples that they are. And by pushing down these conversations, we are creating energy in our bodies that will not necessarily in the long run serve us well.
I love that. And, I love the whole thing about backyard and just sharing a drink. I think this is good because, we don't have to go into all these, what's the word I want to say, where it is scripted, so to speak, that typical dinner. And, like you said, if you're gradually taking those baby steps to get back to how things used to be, why not just take 20 minutes and just share a drink? At least that's something positive. And then you can build on that rather than thinking, oh, I'm going to spend, this whole evening with them. And you may not even want to be around them. Right. So you want to start where you can, have something pleasant and continue to build on that. So I like that. That's good advice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's important. So if you can only be together for 15 or 20 minutes, and that is your container of time, then enjoy that 15 or 20 minutes. And maybe the next time you're together, it can be longer. But it's important for you to prioritize that, to prioritize that time and really look at your expectations.
That's good. I like that. Well, this has been wonderful, Kim. I mean, we have just tackled a lot of different areas, and I could be on here all day. But as you can see, mom duty's calling. I thought I was in a good time out, girl. And then boom, here they come, right?
I love it.
So tell everybody how to get a hold of you, different things that you offer, sites that you have so that they can follow you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, there's many different ways that you and your community can find me. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me at Intentional Pathways by Design. That is the name of my relationship coach practice. So I'm on Facebook there. I'm on my personal page. I'm on LinkedIn. Those are the places that I absolutely love to hang out. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do a meditation. On Tuesday, we talk about a very important relationship topic. And then we use gentle meditation to just break ourselves open ever so gently so we can really explore ourselves in a gentle, kind way. And then on Thursday nights, we have a special guest that comes in and talks about their expertise, which I absolutely love. You can also find me at Entrepreneurs Creating Impact, where I support and welcome new entrepreneurs into a a beautiful community of impactful people. You can also find me in my smaller community, Family Reconnection Zone, where we are on a mission to provide resources. That's right. We are a small community, but we are growing to provide resources for families just like this, just like the conversation that Lachelle and I had. So I look forward to, I forgot. I get so excited. I also have a group coach program that I started to offer just a few weeks ago, called Meditation for Conscious Relationship. It's a great way for you to identify a key relationship that you want to work on in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a relationship blueprint inside that community, and would love to have a conversation with you. So again, reach out to me, see how you might fit into all of this goodness that I'm working on these days. And Lachelle, thanks so much for having me.
Oh, I love it. I mean, we have so much fun together. You just keep me laughing, girl. And hey, I had the right person. You took over when internet went haywire, so I knew I was in good hands. So I love it. But we are so happy that you shared these great tips with us. I'm going to be implementing some of them myself, and I encourage everybody to reach out to you. So once we get this posted, please put all those links in, because that was a lot. She's doing a lot of stuff, y'all. So you might want to follow her in these different areas, connect with her on all her platforms, because this is a great connection to have. And she's got some great insight, guys. So what final words do you want to leave us with regarding relationships today?
There's so many, but I have to say that anything worth having, anything worth having is not easy. So if you are doing relationship, and this could be any relationship, this could be with your mother, your father, your business colleagues, it can be your partner, your children. It's hard, and I want to acknowledge you for that. It's absolutely hard, and sometimes there seems like there is no solution to what you're going through, but I want to let you know that there is a solution. And believe it or not, that most of the solutions exist right inside of you. And that is what is so wonderful about it. It's just that you haven't had the ability or the insight to tap into it. And that's where I come into play. So reach out, let's have a conversation.
I love that. And this is really having those real uh, conversations.
Mhm.
Like you said, it's not easy. And everyone looks at our highlight reel. I was discussing this earlier before you came on, and they don't see the behind the scenes.
No.
You see the picture of us with our kids, they're smiling, and it's like, you don't know what happened right before that picture was snapped. You know what I mean? Or even right after, something as simple as, oh, he pushed me or whatever. So, you're so spot on about that, about it being hard, but, it's worth it. And, it does evolve. That's another thing. We all change and have different needs and things like that. And that's just a part of being committed to a relationship and, finding ways to navigate through that. So, great point to even end on. So, I challenge you guys to reach out to her, because, this is about taking action. If you're up at night or you're tired of, your household dealing with a bunch of arguing or whatever, it's time to take action and do things that can move you forward and have that life that you desire. So thanks again, Kim, for joining us. We
Thank
really appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching. So stay tuned. I will keep you posted for my next episode of Real News Today. Thanks for watching.